Hello everybody, Reggie Time here again with another episode of who knows what it's called yet, because we recorded the second video straight after the first one. Fishomania is springing to mind. I might call the series Fish, in fact I am, we're going to call it Fishomania. So welcome to the second episode of Fishomania, which is going to be just a bunch of videos of me playing against fish for like infinity. So yeah, God knows how many there'll be. There might be 2, 3, 5, 8, 12, who knows. But I'm not planning on making any speed poker videos anytime soon because they're dull as shit and hard to beat. So we're going to be focusing on playing against fish and demonstrating just how easy it is to make money in a relatively stress-free environment. Both regulars quit. I do not understand why both regulars would quit and leave me heads up with someone who's green tagged, but we'll play him heads up for a while, see what's going on. Not a fan of heads up play. My heads up game isn't great by any stretch, and if he does an awful lot of folding, we'll just be quitting him, green or not green. We'll just be quitting him if he does a lot of folding. But we'll see. We'll give it 5 minutes, see what happens. Who knows, maybe a game forms around us. Bet turn here and check back river most likely. Flop a gut shot on table 1. Probably just going to check fold it, I would imagine. When the Tim Crew bets multi-way, he's just not going to have very many bluffs at all in this spot. Langsholm's back. Yeah, we just fold the gut shot. Oh, motherfucker, that was a good turn card. That would have been a beautiful turn card, but we just can't go chasing gut shots, can we? It's not what we do here at Reggie Time Poker. We don't chase gut shots out of position in multi-way pots on two-tone boards. And we wouldn't have made, well, we would have made a lot of money. Motherfucker, we'd have doubled up. Never mind. Never mind. Never mind. Never mind. Check raise his turn against Heist, I think. No, we're not, because he checks back. And we will try and bluff the river. And hope he just folds whatever. Who knows what. I think he probably bets a king on the turn, does he? Maybe he doesn't, who knows. I'd imagine most green tag players would bet double barrel a king there. They wouldn't check back. He raises, we're dead, of course. We do have a set against Frankie though, which is not unpleasant. And we just have to call it off here, and we have to hope that Frankie isn't on a higher set. Frankie's just on the Jack 8 offsuit. That turn card is a thing of beauty. Thank you, Frankie. And that was a particularly pleasant donation to compensate me for missing out on the straight over straight the previous hand and getting a bluff brutally picked off on table 3. A triple barrel here against the gauche guy. He can call twice with a 9, check him in raises. I think he's going to have a 4 a hell of a lot when he does this. Do not let draw into flushes on paired boards, but when I get in this price, we don't have much choice. We miss, and then we fold when he pots it, half pots it, whatever he does. He just has a 4 here a ton, doesn't he? Either a full house or a 4. Never mind. Did he show then? I'm not sure if he showed or not. I might have been seeing things. It's queen. Pretty deep. 3 bet now. I hope to take it down pre-flop. If we don't, then see what happens. We pick up the second nut flush draw. He just absolutely blasts into us with pot. I guess we're folding. And I guess we can start tagging our friend here as green. We're not going to fold King Jack versus someone we just tagged as green. We live in interesting times. Klebs, 1987. Probably anything but, given the fact he's bought in for a strange amount. 3-bet small here against Ghost, just for isolation. We fail to isolate because the Tim Crew just decides he wants to play. And then again we get donked into and we have something of a draw but not enough to continue. No idea where all these donk bets are coming from. But, in one sense they're irritating. In another sense they're delightful to see because it just confirms that you're in good games. People cold calling 3-bets and donking Queen 9x. You're in a good game when that shit's happening. Do not need red or orange showing up at this top here, but given that excuse me, given that they've both instantly gone reserved, it means players are on wait lists. When players are on wait lists, they're typically going to be regulars and not fish, because fish don't join wait lists. So this is more than likely to be another red guy. And all of a sudden, these tables aren't looking as clever. We might have to start thinking about generating some more. Not looking bad by any stretch, but I just need to be aware of the red revolution coming over the hill. We're not folding ace jack versus this guy on 3-3 deuce. We're still not folding it. And that's why. Not c-betting the king jack multi-way. We are going to call 4-bet the pocket aces this deep against the flash there. And he just folds. But we're just too deep there to not call 4-bet. I'm aware how strong called 4-betting looks. But we're deep. And I haven't seen Flash gone 3-bet once yet, so we're just hoping he's got something really strong. He didn't, or if he either he did or he just made a really good fold, one of the two, but nevertheless, 150 blinds deep, open 3-bet, called 4-bet's pretty mandatory. 3-bet 10s for protection, value, isolation, however many other names you want to add to it, versus Klebs. Pretty good flop. We hope it just goes bet, call, bet, call, bet, call. If he raises, we're not folding. It's just going to be whether we're going to jam over his raise or call versus it. None of it's a problem because he just didn't do it. Take down the pot. Happy days. That is a phenomenal flop for 2 4s. So good, I think we need to check. Let our opponents catch up a little bit. Oops, might have caught too much. Fold. Stab once with the ace-3. If we get any kind of resistance, we're just going to give up. We get check raised. I think he's going to have lots more draws and shit on this board than he is like real strong made hands, but we have ace-3 offsuit. So whatever. What did the Gauche have, by the way? That time he check raised us and then bet twice. Can I find that pot? Jack 10 offsuit. So you had like no pair, no draw. Which is good to know. Randomly donked into us on this board. Not much we can do, just fold. Let's pump this ace jack up. Let's pump it up to 1.8. Happy to take it down pre. Don't mind if we get called. Don't really care what happens, so long as we don't get 3-bet. That would be a little bit sad. And it would mean I'd be consigning 1.8 to somebody else's pocket. Only one limper this time, so she will make it 1.5 instead of 1.8. We flop pretty well if we're going to miss with the king queen. That's probably a reasonable way to miss. If you do raise close, don't make it too big. And then we get it through. Not a big fan of double barreling on the ace, but at the same time, makes it less likely Cleves has ones. Because we've got the flush draw, it makes it less likely it's got a flush draw too, so it's more likely got some kind of 9 or worse. Again, 2 potential squeezes behind here. I'm going to 3-bet the 10-8 suited. If there was fish in the blinds, I would just flat, or just one regular, I would just flat. But given that both boiler and sunset are capable of 3-betting, probably, I presume, pretty good ranges and not just value, I don't really want to get squeezed there. Because when I do call versus his min raise under the gun, I do cap my range somewhat, which I don't want to be doing. Don't want to be having capped ranges when you've got good players trapped behind you, because they should just punish you for it. 380 seems like a good size. 4 seems just a bit better. I quite like using round numbers against fish. Didn't work. Probably just had nothing. Didn't want to just call there though. Then we can get called by Jack X, get called by draws. Raising's fine. He just didn't have anything. Flicking the 15 pence with the utter garbage that is Jack 8 offsuit, and then fold to such the 6x like a good little bitch. And we'll root for Lanks home. Or jaywalk, don't mind which. Root for both of those guys. Such the checks. He almost certainly just has 2 high cards at this point. Yeah, such has got ace king, ace queen, ace jack, king queen, that type of thing, you would imagine. I'm not a massive fan of isolating versus the £8.40 stack size, but I don't just want to over limp. If we get limped raised, it sucks and we probably have to fold, but I still think it's the best line. We flop top pair. Now we're willing to stack off versus Kyle, of course. Perhaps show a little bit more caution against jaywalk. I think if we bet here we get raised, we have to call it off, which would make me sad. I'm just going to wimp out and check back and probably call this river and feel a little bit sad. Don't bet too big. 436, that's a price I can call. We don't block spades. We don't block ace king. We do block jack queen, which is a slight problem, but we didn't block the ace 5 off either. So our weak turn check back, because we were scared of getting shoved on, worked out quite nicely for us. All in here. And re-isolated. Too often I've called and then Lanx calls and then an ace pops and Lanx donks and I fucking have to fold and I get tilted. So we're just going with the insta-jam. Obviously he hits his king right out the gate, which is more than annoying, but we can't complain. We got it in incredibly good. We just didn't get it home. Probably losing here to Vercom, but how can we fold? Chop it up. Yeah, that's a bit annoying with the king jack. Clearly, absolutely fuck all we can do about it, and fortunately it was just for whatever it was, 20 or big blinds, but still annoying. But not so annoying that we're going to get tilted in any shape or form. And that was my daughter sending me a message at a time when she really should be tucked up in bed. I'm being a massive hypocrite with the old Facebook tonight. Normally I don't have it logged in. Normally I just close everything when I'm playing, but for some reason tonight, probably because it's 3 table or whatever, who knows, it's not been turned off. It did lead me to time out in the tournament. We played in video 1 though, which was a bit of a pisser, but whatever. We're deep here. We could normally 3-bet bigger when we're deeper, but the purpose of 3-bet is really just to get Wubble to fold. Tremendous flop. We're going to check here because Gauche has been like pretty aggressive. So we're going to check and just maybe let him hang himself. We don't really want the board to run off 2 diamonds. I don't mind 1 diamond coming off. I don't want it to run off 2 diamonds. That's a pretty damn sexy run out, to be fair. He checks back the river. So what did he have that time? Presume he just had some random bluff again. King 3 off suit. So it's fair to say our strategy to check to him was a good one. Will BB bluff frequently? Tripled yet? Again with the question mark, so I'm not sure about either of those as reads, but if I don't see him again for another god knows how long, at least it's a starting point. Red please, table 3. Like a nice order of red. Didn't happen. Backdoor central. Lanks is going to donk. We're going to fold. That's pretty much what's going to happen here. Ooh, Lanks checked. We like that. Just going to take my free card. Not the worst free card in the world. Checks through, we can bet. Substudies leads out big. Almost certainly got a very strong hand. We're not going to chase that gut shot. Just ball the check back here on the flop. A size, under pairs. Stuff we typically want to be betting twice against, I guess. Or just once. Here's 2 suited. Deep versus gauche. Let's go. That will be a very weak top pair. Then we are going to check-a-doodle-doo. Czechoslovakia. Wobble bets. Wobble's a player that I respect quite a lot. I'm just going to fold my top pair here. There's not much chance it's good. It's very vulnerable to red cards and shit. I'm actually just going to fold and be very comfortable and behind. Well, technically we were behind. Not by much. What the fuck did Wobble bet there in position, the multi-way pot? 2 queens. Seems like a very strange bet from Wobble there. Don't understand that at all. I'm not at all arsed that I got took off my top pair shitty kicker, by the way. That's not. I just don't really understand his bet with 2 fish in the pot. Just way too likely someone's got an ace in the multi-way pot, I think, for that bet to be profitable, but I could be wrong. Klebs, you're in bother, sir. Oh, Klebs. Oh, you weren't. Boiler was going for the fucking bluff on the fish. Boiler going for the bluff in the 3-bet pot versus the fish. What is going on? What is going on? I mean, maybe I just lack adventure. Maybe I have completely lack any sense of adventure. But was it a bluff raise too? I think it was a bluff raise, wasn't it? It was. Going for the bluff raise against the fish after the fish min 3 bets pre-flop, to me seems mighty ambitious. I don't think there's much chance we win any kind of size pot here. We need to bet. But I don't see how we win a big pot. Nope, we don't. I didn't really want to check to close there either. She hadn't shown much interest in the pot. Check back the flop, just called 30 pence on the turn. No reason I think Clebs is going to stab there if we check. So we just bet ourselves and get no action. I think table 2 is a bit shitty, actually. We've got Clevs, but we've got these two regulars directed to our left. We've got this Vercon who's just like an empty seat. And Flash Gorm, even though he's tagged green, I know he plays higher. I mean, I don't think he's a good player, but is he a bona fide fish? I don't know. If we can find a better table, I shall sit it. The other empty seats at 30 and all don't look too great right now. 20 nil table looks shit. That 20 nil table looks shit. That 20 nil table looks shit. It might be the best of a bad bunch, from what I can see at present. That another 30 nil table. It doesn't look any better than this one. Flash Gorm, how many tables are you playing? I think Flash Gorm might well be upgraded to orange. I know he definitely plays higher. Yeah, Flash Gorm's actually got 1, 2, 3, 4, about 6 tables going of 30 and 50. So he immediately gets moved to orange. Because even though he's playing higher and he's clearly got a reasonable bankroll, still don't think he's very good. But whatever, yeah, so this table's quite shy. So we need to find another table basically, don't we? Because we're just making a 27-minute video. That isn't happening. So let's find another table, basically. We'll keep it going. We'll keep this table going until we actually have a better table to join. We're going to get squeezed by a stud here, aren't we? We didn't get squeezed. Beautiful. Reasonable flop. We need to bet for protection here. Don't want to be letting any free cards roll off. If we get raised, we just sigh and fold. 6 seems like a good turn card to me. Again, I'm going to bet small just to charge red ones. We get raised, it's a really gay spot. And that card is pretty fucking disgusting. And when suds to bets, we're just going to fold. Even though he's bet really small here. Well, he has bet like half pot, hasn't he? We're just going to fold. And whatever. Ooh, all of a sudden, tables are dying everywhere. Tables are dying. Yeah, we're going to pause the video because I have no interest in playing short-handed with Studster to my left against some guy who's got less than 50 blinds. Table 2 is shite, so we're going to pause the video and come back when we have some better tables. Here we are, we're back with some tables. I'm not sure if one of them is the same one we were at before. We left and then we rejoined this one with Studster on, with Kudagar and Kyle. So I'm pretty sure it's one we joined early. We left earlier. We've got a better seat in now. We're in position against 2 greens, so happy days. probably going to play for another half an hour in terms of the video. I'm going to keep playing until the games die completely, but for the purposes of this video, we're going to play for an hour. Then we're not going to start recording a third video because I don't think the games have got another hour and a half in them. It's currently 12:30 AM. Do I think there's going to be games running at 2 AM still? Possibly. Good chance, I suppose, but don't want to start making a video then not get enough footage, so I'm going to knock the video on the head in around 30 minutes, or if it just ends at 45 minutes or whatever. We won't be looking for new tables. If tables start dying, we'll call it a night. Check call here with the pocket 10s versus Skere. I have no clue about him. It's a pretty juicy bet. We might have to consider folding at some point if he continues with the big sizes. I think now is a good time to just fold. We may well be getting bluffed here, but it just looks like he's going to bomb the river, and the river's going to be a fucking doozy of a bet. It's going to be around 18, so just fold and file it under frustrating / didn't work out. Given that he's limped and then checked back twice, the very next hand gives me quite a lot more confidence in my fold. Not super impressed to see a purple player turn up 2 to my left. But we'll deal with it in whatever way we deem necessary. 3-5 suited in position deep against River Gauche with Liam, who is as yet untagged but seems reasonable to me as a player. We flop a pair, he just massively donks out. We're just going to get out of the pot now because we don't know what Liam's going to do. And now Liam calls. Pretty comfortable with my fold. Bet the 4s here. It's very small, just value from Ace X and a degree of protection against just 2 random overcards. And we get massively raised. Which means fuck knows what, but we have 2 4s, we're just going to fold. And as you've seen, like maybe in this video, the previous one, you know, we are going to run into fish doing weird things now and again. We're going to have to fold some hands. But then you just see them just dumping stacks on you, doing the weird shit as well. So you've got to take the rough with the smooth. You know, we've had 2 stacks dumped on us tonight. Well, we had 40 quid dumped on us earlier at this table here by someone in this seat. And, you know, now and again, it's going to feel like you're getting run over by the fish, like especially by the aggressive ones. It's almost certainly not going to be the case, and if you stick around, you're patient, you're disciplined, you'll be around long enough for them just to dump money on you left and right, and that's just the way it's going to be. What you've got to do, you've got the discipline to not lose too much to them by like call, fold and shit. Have the discipline not to tilt. Get reads on them, see what's going on. And just hopefully you're the guy that gets to catch them when they do whatever horrendous mistake they do. And the mistake will be coming at some point. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow or whatever, but it will be coming. And you just need to be in the games, playing well for when it does. Not particularly good flop for us, the 8-6-4, but we're going to bet once. We can barrel on queens, jacks, kings, and aces. Probably not a 10. Probably not the 5 of diamonds either. We can certainly check back though here and try to hit a blue one, which we do. We now have the 3rd nuts, is it? Bet pretty big, fold to a raise. Seems like a sensible option. Flash Gomez 3 betters. Here we have 6 high and he's 3 bet to 11. We are going to fold. Certainly going to be c-betting the king 10 here, the gut shot with the backdoor everything. And now I think we're pretty likely to just barrel off. There's all kinds of like pair plus draw he can call with twice that's going to have to fold when we bet the river. 8-9. 7-9, 8-6, all those types of things. Maybe not 8-6, yeah, 8-6-2, I guess. Yeah, just absolutely tons of stuff that wants to check call twice and then just has to bail out when the river bomb comes in. That was going to be the plan there. Again, not in love with. In fact, I'm just going to overlimp here. It's a spot where Studstill will typically go for a big squeeze. He hasn't gone for it this time, which is fine. I wouldn't have been surprised to see Stud to just like make that 180 there. And if these guys had called, I would have come along for the ride too. Oops. C-betting the queen 10 on the deuce 3. I'm going to check back the turn because getting check raised would make me want to vomit, and there's not really any bad river cards for us. If he bets, we're going to call. If he checks, we're going to bet. Don't think he has very much at all here. Unless he raises, then I'd be inclined to believe he probably had something pretty strong. Maybe he just looks us up with ace 3 or something here. Who knows? Just donks out into us. He's liked this, hasn't he, all night. Not a lot we can do with the queen 10. Not a lot we're going to try and do. gut shot against coup de grace. Who knows, he might be into limping King X on the button, but it wouldn't be a standard thing to do. It just like min raises. Can't fold versus a min raise. Will fold versus a turn barrel. Seven queen. Okie dokie. That's fine. We can note that and move on. Wow. Better than min raise. I'm just going to fold the king jack. I was about to just check call, but we're going to fold it now versus a better than the min raise. Then call, queen 7 suited, button, min raise, king queen X, then check down. Which is just fine. I think it's a shit line, but I mean it's just fine in terms of we got the note, it cost us £3. But you know, we're not happy that we didn't win the pot, but at the same time, super DP versus Liam. I'm gonna go for a bigger than usual 3-bet. Liam and I do have some history in short-handed tables. I wouldn't have been surprised to see him 4-bet me there. But he didn't. So now we know these guys like min-raising middle pairs. We can certainly use that read to our advantage in future spots against him. Now and probably not forever, but now and for a long time. As long as he keeps turning up at the games in the next few days. That was going to change his style anytime soon. In position, that hand would have played that much differently. He probably would just have check called the flop. Even if he check raised the flop, then when he checks the turn, we just go bet and he falls most of the time. In future, not now, of course. In that hand there, we probably wouldn't have bet turn river. I don't think, would we? Maybe, I guess he's gone for the check min raise again here. Clearly, it's his thing. So we need to be aware that he does do the whole min raise thing quite a lot. So maybe we'll all try betting ranges against him. We won't be stabbing as much. We will be like betting for value a lot more and like betting draws that we're prepared to like go with. Things like that, so we can put pressure on him with 3 bets versus his min raise. I'm going to call this for 98p. And win. Bad turn card to barrel against Liam, so he's going to give up. Checks again. Chance of Liam having a 3 are pretty slim. I think this overbet gets through a decent amount here. I think he just bets a lot of rivers with his like 10x and stuff, because he's not going to be too worried about getting like raised over his hand. If he does have a hand like Queen 10, King 10, Ace 10, I think he's going to bet that a lot on the river. Maybe not. Maybe he just check calls. Surprised he didn't bet that river. I mean, there's no real reason to be scared of the 3, I guess, but never mind. Put a little note on. See me all of that versus outrage. a weak open ender to the low end. We can let it go quite comfortably. Not sure what this Liam is. It seems reasonable. But yeah, I'm not sure. 3-bet Scarry here to isolate. Or Scarry, not Scary. Scary. Whatever the heck he's called. Pretty miserable flop. Don't expect it to hit him that. Wow, he just donks again. If we weren't super vulnerable to being counterfeited here, I would just call down, I think. Because this just doesn't make much sense. But given that we can be ahead and he can still have like tons of equity against us, we'll let it go. Makes no sense that he does that with the queen, but if he's just doing it with like, who knows what, king 10, ace 10, fucking ace, god knows what. We're just so damn vulnerable to just being counterfeited and not being able to do jack shit about it. Table 4's going a bit rough again. Is there a better table around anywhere? It's the donk bet coming again. Not this time. So let's see when he checks. Let's see how he responds to a bet when he doesn't donk bet. He responds with a check min raise, which we're not falling to for the record. We may even go for a small 3-bet and just see what happens. Some back doors. We have the ace. And he clicks it back again. Right, okay, fine. So now that means his donks surely must be weaker. If he's like check min raising and clicking it back. Wow, we're getting raised to lower spot here. Just check min raise equals strong. The question mark, which therefore reminds me that his donk might not be strong. We just fold this river. Oh shit, we can't. It's a min raise. We just call and lose, I guess. Yep, we do. Given he's just slow played versus us with a relatively strong hand, I'm less likely to believe him when he starts donking. Could be getting owned absolutely all over the shop here. Versus these bet sizes, we're certainly not going to be folding. He's just never strong. He has a jack at best here, doesn't he? But I think we just beat some shit as well. Be like 10-8s, 10-9s, who knows what. 6-10, we don't beat the 6-10. Donk equals weak with a question mark. So we're kind of getting our pants pulled down all over the show at the minute by some pretty rank players. But that's going to happen because they just do weird shit and it sometimes takes you a little while to figure them out. All you can do is collect the information and hopefully begin to use it against them. And now Kyle's sitting out. Table 3 is going to be going for a little walk in just a moment. think about calling with King Queen suited. I think King Queen off's going to play much better as a 3-bet. Flop to set on table 1 on a dry board. I'm going to bet just once here. Again, suits up. And you fold, we get it through, which is not unpleasant. Check call this turn against Gorm. Not a big fan of the jack. It's felt pretty heavy. Massively not a fan of that river. Hopefully it goes check and we somehow win. That's the plan. Checking back versus Skerra, who seems to like dicking around a lot with check raises. Bet the turn for value. What the fuck is going on here? We're not folding to him this time. We're not doing it. We're just not doing it, and we're just losing to pocket kings. We are getting completely smashed to pieces by some of the worst players I've seen in a long time at the moment. But it is what it is, isn't it, you know? Do we stand up here? Yeah, we do. Getting close to the end, but I kind of want to stick around with the video because we have some fun tables. So here we go, another one to squeeze in here. Not a particularly good flop on table 1 in a 3-bet pot versus a fish. Certainly not going to 3-bet. Certainly not. Wow, he just can't have it constantly. I'm not in the mood to be folding top pair to this dude right now. Not in the mood for it at all. Checking back the turn though, not allowing him to raise it again. Open ender on this board texture, not my idea of fun. Straight away, the table we just opened already looks like it's going a little bit sour. He massively overbets. We're just going to fold and think what the fuck is going on. He's actually going to be changed to a green tag because he's clearly mental. 3-bet by boiler. I think this is the time we can use this hand to 4-bet bluff. It might look like I'm steaming. I rarely 4-bet bluff, but usually when I do it, suited wheel cards are the ones I do it with. Nothing to do with being a little bit annoyed. Everything to do with just the situation there. It's a first 4-bet bluff of the session, but it seems like a reasonable time to do it. And that table's already shit and I don't particularly want to be at it. Not interested in playing 2 regulars and 1 green, even though Fergie's just an orange. He's scary, he's just mega aggro, isn't he? Just in case we don't see him again for a while. He's eating everyone's lunch at the moment. If he stays at the table for another hour and a bit, or 2 hours, he is almost guaranteed to leave the table with no chips. But it's hard to make a hand, and when you're playing against people who just keep betting and raising and just doing crazy things, you know, they're just going to run you over a little bit. It's just the way it's going to have to be. I mean, he's clearly out of line. Clearly out of line. And still, you need something to look him up. And even though we had top pair on the other hand, like just calling a fucking 10x pot over bet would just be clearly absolutely mental. So we don't do it. I think no easy cash, if he's got a value handy, he should almost certainly have been checking to this dude. I'm just letting him like bluff his money off. Has he not been watching? Has he not been watching what's happening at these tables? Scarra likes to bet. Scarra likes to raise. Scarra doesn't like to call too often. And this video will go on until we are no longer playing poker with Scarra. We're not getting particularly good flops for our high card right now, are we? Kind of running bad at the moment, which of course is annoying, but all part of the game. And Scarra seems to be ramping it up here now, massively. He's like starting to open 4x, 8x. Yeah. The man's about to blow, I believe. Where are you from, Scarra? London. They're from that London, eh? I think the Scarra is about to blow. And here we go with the min raise. Click it. Oh, what on earth is going on? Right. Click it back, central. Someone has to have the 6-5 and presuming it suits up. And then Scarra just calls, please check fold. That'd be fucking hilarious. Please check fold, Scarra. He check raised with his fucking 4. What the actual fuck? He's going to eat my lunch with the ace king now because he's going to be steaming, isn't he? And he's just going to eat all of my lunch. Oh well. Good luck us. Oh, happy days. Pick up £10 without much of a problem. I'm actually going to start limping because he's going to 3-bet constantly now. I just feel it coming. So we're just going to start limping in pots and making sure we get to flops with hands we want to get to flops with against him. We just have to go with it here and just hope no easy cash doesn't have the jacks or the ace king or whatever. Queen 7. Don't do it to me. It did it to me. Oh, he chopped it at least. Whew. For some reason then I didn't see that we had the straight 2. I just thought he'd had the straight. Not sure what to say about that. We should now just have his lunch and that should be it, but we don't. It should be bedtime for Scarra now. We should have 70 quid, but neither of those things is true. It's clearly in full-on monkey tilt mode at this moment. Just want to see as many flops with him, cheap flops as we can with him, and just look to hopefully stack him off. That's the plan. I think when you do have someone like this who's in here, like raising 3-betting constantly, I think it genuinely is okay to just adjust by that limping, but you don't want to be like making it 90 and they're making it like 210, 220, 250, £3 constantly. Because you just make it 2 days to see flops with them, and you just don't need to be doing that against him. as we saw with the King Queen, limping, watch him spew his ring up, and avoid situations like this where his raw aggression is going to put you in tough spots unless you have top pair or better. Oh, Skerrer checked it back. Table 3 is just a fucking disaster. We basically had no hands, and then the fish quit, and then another fish quit, and now we're just going to quit ourselves. And hopefully we'll find a table to complement the other two. If not, we'll just carry on playing 2 tables until it's Skerrer's turn to die. What we're going to do at this table against Skerrer is tighten up and limp a lot. Obviously we're still going to raise aces, ace king, ace, things we can 4-bet, but things that we are only going to call versus the 3-bet, we're just going to start limping, so we're only going to be raising stuff that we're happy to 4-bet and get in. Incredibly exploitable, doesn't matter one fucking bit, because all we're interested in is Skerrer. If Reg start isolating us and then Skerrer calls, we're just going to call too. Really not a big problem. Yeah, it's exploitable, but I think for the situation it's a good adjustment. It's a much better adjustment than just racing and having to call 3-bets constantly and have all kinds of silliness going on. We'll find a 20 now table that we can just slot in alongside these two just to keep the action going. And Skerry's gone bust, which was inevitable. I didn't notice the hand, didn't see what happened. You guys are better rewind back and see. I just want to see for my own amusement. Eight deuce. I have no fucking clue what was going on. We'll stick around. If Skerrer reloads, we'll stick around and continue recording. If Skerrer leaves, then I'm just going to call it a night and go and do something else. Probably sleep. Kind of annoying because like, between the first 2 videos at one point we were up around £70. We've ended up now just being up around 20 odd pounds, maybe £30, which is annoying, but at the same time we've played 2 hours and we've made 30 quid, so good hourly. I'm not going to complain too much about that. And check it against Bestford. Hope the 9's good. It was not good. I think the jacks are probably still good here, but it's going to be hard to get caught by a worse. So we'll just check back and make a straight on the river. We block ace jack super hard, which is incredibly pleasant. I'm going to raise the river. I'm going to raise it all in. It's just not that likely as ace jack. If he does, fuck our lives. But you can definitely call with some 2 pairs and what have you. He does have the actual ace jack, which is incredibly irritating. But what are we going to do? So just about all of our profits gone for the Burton now tonight, which is incredibly annoying, but we've been in really good games. We just ran pretty fucking salty. Is this what it is? It is what it is. You know, playing these games every single night for 2 or 3 hours a night, you're going to be making maybe £150 a week, maybe something like that. And to get that £150 a week of relatively easy money, you're going to have to swim through quite a lot of shite. you're going to be choking on your own vomit sometimes. What do? Do you get frustrated by it and decide to go and play other places where less weird things happen, but games are much harder to beat? Or do you just accept that you're going to have relatively high short-term variance, but pretty much an easy run at it in the long term? And this is the problem that lots of people have when they're playing against fish, is that they have that, we talked about Bert in the previous session, they have the 1 or 2 sessions where nothing goes right with them and the fish just hit everything and they're making enormous bets and they're putting you in weird spots. And you're just like, well, these games are fucking crazy. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to beat them. And people just then go back to playing their Zoom games or whatever because they're quite formulaic and they understand what's happening. And even though they don't make as much money, they feel like they understand the game better and they know what they're actually doing. So, yeah, don't be that guy. Well, you can be that guy if you want to be that guy. I'd prefer to be the guy that sometimes feels like he's getting run over by some of the worst players alive. But at the end of the month, you know, there's like made his money that he's supposed to make every month. This has been a fun session for the first hour, and it's been a very annoying session for the second hour. But I'll be back again tomorrow night trying exactly the same thing all over again. But for the night, I think we probably will call it a night now. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. The only thing making me want to stick around is Skerra's gone, so there we go. These tables still are okay. We still have Harry, we still have Crawley and what have you. But no, we put a long session in. We put I played before the session started. We put a good 3 hours in, 2.5, 3 hours. It's enough. Worked hard. Haven't been paid tonight. Never mind. There's always tomorrow. So we'll start sitting out, and we'll be back with another episode of Fishomania in the near future. Bye bye for now.